Okay, so nobody's getting the truth from the mainstream media, folks. It's well past time to open your eyes, your ears, and your mind. Do your own research because something isn't right here. And if you can't see that, you are not paying attention, folks.
It's the opportunity to forge for ourselves and for future generations a new world order. A world where the rule of law, not the law of the jungle, governs the conduct of nations.
So let's look at each one of these and see how we can get this down to zero. Probably one of these numbers is going to have to get pretty near to zero. Now that's back from high school algebra, but let's take a look. First, we've got population. The world today has 6.8 billion people. That's headed up to about 9 billion. Now, if we do a really great job on new vaccines, healthcare, reproductive health services, we could lower that by perhaps 10 or 15%.
The important message that we need Australians to get vaccinated as quickly as possible. In line with that, I do encourage all Australians to please go and book your vaccinations as soon as you can if you haven't already done so.
Emma, get away!
When we are successful, and we will be, we have a real chance at this new world order, an order in which a credible United Nations can use its peacekeeping role to fulfill the promise and vision of the UN's founders.
Okay, we need to stand up against this tyranny, folks. Stop giving away your freedoms and liberties, because the more you give up, the more these people will take until you have absolutely nothing left. That's their agenda. All right, I got to totally agree with you guys. Hello, and if you've made it to here this far, guys, guess what? Congratulations, you've made it through another week of the biggest psyop in the world ever been pulled. But yeah, maybe we've got to do something about Emma. Now, who's smart out there, guys, that could make me, like, the intro's been around for a long time, but if someone can quieten Emma down or shut Emma out, you know, or do it, because Emma's the only problem we seem to have. But yeah, as I said before, I think the intro's been with us for a long time and it's part of us, guys, 5 years. So yeah, but if we can, you know, someone wants to take a copy, I can give you a copy, and if you can shut Emma down, because that seems to, yeah, be the big point. Anyway, guys.
If not mute.
Yeah, well, yeah. Deal with it. Okay. The Victorian Police. Okay. They have put in a vote, guys. They have come out 87.13%. 87, okay? That they have no confidence in Shane Patton. Witness statement has been handed to VicPol. Witness statement has been given to a few people, guys. I think the people in Melbourne, Victoria, you need to get onto these people, all right? Because maybe, but just maybe, this thing has got around, guys. Who knows? You don't know. I don't know. It would be good to know. But I think what we got to do is actually take advantage of the situation, guys, and get the phone calls and the emails into VicPol and find out whether they've got an event number for us and what's going on down there. I think that would be great. Okay, so now I didn't know that Albo was actually in Wollongong today down at Port Kembla, because if I'd have known, guys, I would have got down there, okay? But yeah, apparently he copped the beard off a couple of locals, so that was good. But yeah, I'm very disappointed that I actually missed Albo down in my hometown. I don't know how to follow his schedule, but yeah. Anyway, Zelaya or Zelia or whatever we're calling this cyclone up in the Western Australian coast, guys, is pretty ferocious up around Port Hedland, and that they're predicting 320 kilometre winds. Now, just down the coast a little bit, we do have a what you call a harp station, okay, and that has been going off the last few days. I've actually seen some stuff on it. So again, very interesting that you know, do they just ramp up another one of these things? Do they? I don't really know, but you know, I'm very suspicious about it all. Okay, so U.S. Navy jet slams into the ocean, guys. I don't know. Look, this could be real. Okay, I'm not saying it's not, but what I am saying is, I don't believe anything that I'm seeing. I really don't. You know what I mean? Because I don't know whether it's real or not. You know, we talk about this a little bit on Spaces, you know, how much CGI these guys have been using and are using. So, you know, what they are going to want to do is do a shutdown on planes, you know, and put them all down. Well, what a greater way to do it is to just continue to have accidents, whether they're accidents or not. If there's CGI, well, it gives you a lot of, a lot of power to actually, or power in the mind of the sleep people to actually ground all aircraft. Anyway, very interesting stuff going on. Now, the scrapping of Anzac Day funding raised at a crisis meeting of Victoria RSL clubs. Like, this is just, it should never even be on the table. All right. You know, it's over fight over a gambling venue. It's just a load of bullshit. And how about you guys in the RSL and to do with our Anzacs, just, you know, start fighting and looking after our Anzac Day. That's what you need to do, guys. And if you can't, step out the way, give it to somebody else who does want to do it, all right? Because, yeah, these guys fought for our country, all right? And we'll be fighting for them. So, you know, as much as you want to take all these days off us, it won't be happening. And we're here to fight you over them, you know, loving, peaceful way. But we win. We win. Whenever you're ready, Cazza. 87. If I had 87% no confidence in Caz as a producer, do you think she'd actually be here?
It's pretty interesting, isn't it? 87%. That is a massive
Very
amount.
interesting, Caz. That's massive.
Especially when we've had so many reports of like the abuse that's been going on within the force, like as far as you know, child porn and that sort of stuff goes. It's very interesting indeed.
Has there been a big exposure in the ranks, Caz? That's what I'm wondering. Has there been some sort of exposure in the ranks where they've gone, what the, huh? What?
I don't know, but I do know that they've had a lot of people leaving the force. So maybe they've actually decided to get rid of one of the problems in order to try and save the police force. I don't know. So
well, we don't need a full up of immigrants and Indians and whatever else they're bringing over to you guys. So you guys who have lost your job also or have been forced out because you're good guys, I think it's time that you guys regroup and have a look at what's going on here. But wouldn't it be good to have a state with a police let's call them a police with constables who are actually going to act on behalf of the people? You know, wouldn't that be good for one state to maybe lead the way, you know, and make a change in this country? That would be good.
That's good. Well, yeah, every hero, every society needs their warrior class, you know. We need them to be good guys and go out and arrest bad guys. We need that. To have them in such shambles is terrible, and to treat them so badly. Shay Patton is the reason why. If you look at it, like the whole of the Victorian persecution of the people who were protested against the locking downs, like they had the longest lockdowns in the damn world, and like, why hasn't anyone been held accountable to that? Like, it's just outrageous, you know.
Here's our chance. They've got the documentary, right? We saw the roundup on Wednesday night, okay? And where it's gone to, what's happened, get over to our website, guys, check it out, all right? And make the appropriate calls, all right? Send the appropriate emails. Do whatever you've got to do to get these guys to give us an event number, all right? Or get this out. You know, we get an event number, guys, and we'll blast it, mate, all right? But we need for you people to put the pressure on them, okay? Because why? Because we're seeing it. All right, we're seeing, guys, we got to move when we see these things. All right, guys.
That's it. Albert had a bad day. He was heckled.
I had a bad day.
What's going on there? Why don't we put him out front of your place? Put him under the window in front of you.
Coming out. How are you?
Love that bloke.
We don't want you with bumps. You don't want him off your property. Get out of here. It's nice to meet you. Get out of here, Albo. We don't want you here. Why don't you listen to previous Labor MPs?
We lost you. We lost you. We lost you.
Well done, the Wollongong locals. Look at all you suckers behind you there.
About the importance
Oh,
of
lining
the
up
steel
in the
industry
Muppet.
for this
Photo
electorate.
op.
The first job that I have.
Now, one of
You
the
got
things
no
that's
job.
very fascinating. One of the things that's fascinating is that now one of the places that he's is it Whitlam, Stephen Jones, or whatever it is anyway. But
Yep.
Joel Jamal has made the observation. He's gone. You know what's funny about this to me? This is a safe Labor seat with the TTP of 60%. Why is Albo even campaigning there? He must be worried the antic Liberal Ben Britton will win there. I think he should be worried because 64% of the area voted no to the voice referendum. Isn't that interesting?
Well looked into, Joel, but could you look into your invoicing system and work out our refund from your little scam that you pulled with Trump Jr.? Thanks, mate.
All right.
Thank you.
So let's have a look at the what else is going on here. So we've got like a whole heap of stuff now. It's already started with the people, with the Aussies. Aussies have been doing memes already. One of them is this. I've seen these kinds of ones going around quite a bit at the moment, and that is a request for a Doge in Australia. And I think we need, if they're finding that much corruption in the United States, imagine what's going on here. And one of those, of course, is.
If you haven't been watching, I've actually put you and I up for the job. So I've done that on the last few shows, actually.
No, get people that are qualified. We need people. We need forensic auditors.
We'll get the people that are qualified, but we're gonna make sure that the people that are qualified are actually people that are qualified. Are going to do the right job. That's what our job is.
Investigate the investigators. All right.
Exactly.
Now, one of those people, of course, is Julianne Grant, and Bolt has taken a side swipe at her.
Government appointed did make clear 3 years ago that she wanted to perhaps trim our free speech because she didn't like the way we argued.
We have increasing polarization everywhere, and everything feels binary when it doesn't need to be. So I think we're going to have to think about a recalibration of a whole range of human rights that are playing out online, from freedom of speech to the freedom to, to be free from online violence.
And since then, she tried, for instance, to bully X into taking down a video of a Christian bishop in Sydney allegedly being stabbed by a Muslim youth. She lost that one. And another video by a Canadian opposing the appointment of an Australian transgender activist to a World Health Organization panel. But now the Administrative Review Tribunal has given her a bit of a slap. She's savaged the Safety Commissioner for getting X to take down this post.
And in today's edition of Melbourne Doing Melbourne Things, we have a school in Montmorency, that has its own queer club, a primary school, for years 3 to 6. It was signed off by the school's dual principals, and it's facilitated by this lady here, Trish Patsy Munro. Let me make something real clear, Trishy. There is no place for an LGBT club in any school, let alone a primary school.
Well, the tribunal has now found that Imran Grant's team actually knew that post had not broken any law. Yet it's still sent to X's portal designed to take legal demands for takedowns from the government, a message that should really take this down. Maybe, well, look, we'll leave it to you, X. But X obviously interpreted that as a legal order in order to take down a perfectly lawful post, which it did. Join me is Reuben Kirkham, co-founder of the Free Speech Union. Reuben, thanks for coming on. How did the Safety Commission go beyond its legal powers like this? Was this a mistake or is it something else?
Oh, it's not a mistake. She, 99% of the time, issues what she calls informal notices, which are notices that get sent in private to social media companies that she does not have to tell you about. And by doing this, she gets around all the safeguards that exist in the Online Safety Act. she says, oh, it's not a real notice, therefore I don't have to notify you that this exists. Where if it was a real notice, you would have the right to appeal to the tribunal. And as you
Yeah, isn't it? It's just so unreal. It is just so outrageous. Like, she needs to be, like, the whole thing needs to be disbanded, defunded, disbanded.
Yeah.
But she's actually
Just get it
increased her
gone.
powers and put herself on top of the think tank as well. Unbelievable. It's just so
She's an
unbelievable.
absolute legend, isn't she? She's just like, I mean, you know, she wears more hats than us, Caz. She's unbelievable.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. But, you know, look, and then we've got a few things that are going on as far as that goes. And this is another one. Guys, just don't buy into this. I tell you again, Jewish lives are more important than freedom of speech. This is to increase all of the animosity and that sort of stuff. The mainstream media would not, they wouldn't buy, they would not be following up on this if they could not, if they didn't have an interest in it, in exacerbating the situation. So
an ulterior motive, guys. It's called by design, ulterior motive setting into play.
That's it. All right. So this now it's sometimes we manage to push something into the mainstream media, and as a matter of fact, Current Affair have decided to cover this.
Coming home to discover your neighbours had bulldozed your land, burnt your fence, and built a new prison-like monstrosity without warning. That's what happened to the Hunt family when a foreign-owned solar farm moved in next door.
It's just so wrong. It's just so un-Australian. And the thing that's really annoying is that this is a global Spanish overseas company.
It turns out the solar company doesn't like it either when it gets unexpected guests.
We can't just walk on your side, but you can just come onto my property, remove my fence and clear my land, and that's okay.
Well, there you go. We pushed it into the mainstream media.
Unbelievable. They've actually covered a story that should be covered, and look, they're going to have to just start doing more of it, and I think they will actually. You know, I think it'll start and turn. But anyway, we've just got to play it out, guys. At the moment, we stick to doing what we're good at, which is putting out all this information that's being released to us, and we're brilliant at it, guys. Congratulations on surviving another week. You know. They are hammer and tong at us. Hammer and tong. They are not going to relent. They are going to come very, very hard. So well done, people.
Now, I just have to do a few things because we have to. This lady here, her name is Dr. Beverly Pierce. Now, she is a doctor that has that needs our support at the moment. So if anyone is able to help her, she needs some solicitor fees. She needs to raise $50,000, and she's another doctor that, she was an anaesthetist, and she was terminated unlawfully from Eastern Health. So, I'll just pop that into the chat here. So, guys, please, if you can support her, then do. And then. All right. Now, David Limbrick, also yesterday we had that situation in Casey. He's actually followed it up with this.
Yesterday I published a video about Mike, who lives in the city of Casey and had 3 of his cars taken from his property. Thanks to everyone that watched this. There was a large number of people that watched and shared it, and we really got eyes on this issue now. One of the things that I think has happened here is we received correspondence yesterday, which was correspondence from the council, and it looks like there might be some sort of misunderstanding because we looked at the powers that the council has to take property like this, and we don't understand how they actually have the power to do this. But what it looks like might be the case, and we're not sure yet, is that the council potentially wasn't aware that he has a lease on the property out the back of his house where the cars were stored, which means it looks like it might be a mistake. Regardless of that, we've still got lots of issues around this permit system for unregistered cars in the city of Casey anyway. And so I think it's worth following up with this. We need to demand from the council that they review these local community laws. I've also heard from lots of people who want to attend the council meeting next Tuesday. Look, it's every person's right to attend council meetings, but I'd like to make a few points. Firstly, I don't think it's helpful if people are
Well, look, we can't, obviously, not all of us can, but I will pop Casey Council's email into the bottom there. Please, guys, go email them. Tell them that you think this is disgusting and they're way overstepping their boundaries, and that they are actually meant to be there.
It's funny how they can. Yeah, funny how they can have doctors and chemists out there running around jabbing people with poisonous bioweapons, but you can't have an unregistered project in your backyard. Hello.
The way to do this is everybody needs to basically take their plates off their cars and just leave them there, and then they'll just be overwhelmed, you know. So, all right, Madison King, let's have a listen to her. She's got some pretty good ideas.
Australians, I've had enough of where this government is going
Frank,
and where our governments have gone. So I'm now seriously looking at starting a petition Australia-wide to challenge the Electoral Roll Commission. Now, in 1918, they brought in preferential voting. However, there was reasons for that, but it's been bastardized over the years. So I think we need to go back to basics. One vote, one person, no preferential voting. Secondly, there was never a referendum for that. During 1918, we were in the First World War. Secondly, these laws are so outdated that they need to be spruced up and reflect the Australian people. Hence the reason why I'm now looking at a petition Australia-wide and then taking it to the High Court to challenge the system. When normal Australians like myself have had enough and you become educated, you no longer stand for nonsense. So click yes or no if you agree that we should do this. The Australian people versus our governments in the High Court.
There's a lot of things that they've done that they shouldn't have done and they had no right to do. So
they have no right to do. And this is why Elon's so busy getting rid of the bureaucracy, because they're really, the bureaucracy is the stay behind network. So it doesn't matter what policy you bring in, they just operate for the next 4 years.
Yep. Oh yeah. No, this has got to be a clean out, and it's, you know, and it is over there, I'm telling you. RFK going in, you know, everyone's jumping up and down, mate. They're happy as pigs in shit. So now, RFK now has to do what he's got to do. You know what I mean? Let's have a look at it.
Well, that's it. Babylon B's come out with RFK Jr. sworn in on raw 32-ounce ribeye.
Yeah. I saw another one where, he was going to get 172 of Congress or something and make them all catch up on their jabs. They never had them. Yeah, beautiful. Couple of jabs and 4 boosters. See how they walk out after that.
Interesting, isn't it? Look, let's just have a look at this, because this is outrageous. This is what Madison's actually talking about.
Campaign finance reform brings a corridor confrontation.
The whole process pushes downward pressure on the cost of elections so ordinary Australians have a chance to be elected.
For ordinary Australians, a 47% increase to how much the public will pay politicians per vote.
Rarely has the crossbench been this cross.
The major parties have done a grubby deal behind closed doors.
A deal to limit big donors like Clive Palmer will annual contributions at $1.6 million, a third of that raised by the Teal Independent's biggest backer, Simon Holmes à Court.
Today could be the day democracy died.
Individual donations capped at $50,000, and the reimbursement to parties per vote increased from $3.38 to $5, costing taxpayers an extra $36 million, most going to Labor and the Liberals.
Instead of helping people, the major parties help themselves. What a stitch up.
On what could be the last sitting day before the election, both major parties angering the crossbench, the very people who could decide who governs if there is a hung parliament.
Well, now, isn't that interesting? Because I think that, does anyone know anyone that, I know only a handful of people that actually vote Labor and Liberal. So what Madison's talking about is actually really quite correct, because it doesn't matter. You can put them last on the ballot, but sometimes what will happen with the preferential voting system is they'll just keep going down, down, down. Oh, well, you know, they're not going to get in, they're not going to get in. They just keep trickling on down. So she has got a point, and we need to actually reform it so that we are actually in control, we the people.
Well, we saw in 2022 when we ran for Parliament that we are not in control of the elections because they do whatever they want. And yeah, I think it's time to restart recirculating a few of those videos from 22 guys where we called them out in all them ways, and just remind the public about what these guys do when it comes to selections, not elections. So yeah, well, I think we ought to start recirculating all the 2022 election stuff. Get it out there, guys. Show them how much fraud is being committed.
That's it. All right. Look, we've got a lot of announcements still on, so I'll just bring in the flyers for this week. In New South Wales, we have the following events. In Sydney, every Monday, join the growing numbers for Monday at Maggie's. Gather together to end the tyranny by showing loss of confidence in the government. Monday at Maggie's from 11 a.m, Macquarie Street, Sydney. Come and celebrate our freedom and support for each other, our culture, and play music at the 832 muster from the 7th to the 9th of March 2025. The location is at Rollins Plains Recreational Reserve. The address is 28 Bilberil Road, Rollins Plains, which is 40 minutes northwest of Port Macquarie. The 832 muster will be at Deniliquin, New South Wales, 28th to the 31st of March. And a reminder to contact the officers of Chris Minns, Ryan Park and Paul Scully. They are invited to come on the show Stop the Rot, Sack the Lot and have a debate with Dave. There is a Freedom Community Barbecue Picnic on Sunday the 16th of February at 12 p.m. at Ewan Park. Another special mention in Wodonga Courthouse for Eric Lord on the 25th of February. The hearing is now on the 7th of March. Eric Lord versus Vic Pol. It will be a 5-day hearing commencing on the 17th of March at Wodonga Courthouse. Eric is charged with assaulting a police officer that as they drove onto his property, knocking down his wife, running her over and resulting in a broken pelvis. And in Victoria, we have the following events. In Melbourne, gather at the Governor's every Saturday to end the tyranny. 10 a.m. every Saturday at the Governor Gates. In Canberra, every day for over 1,000 days, the freedom fighters have been protesting at the Governor-General's. To join in, meet at the National Rock Garden at 10 a.m. to expose the 28, or tune in on YouTube at #ExposeThe28. And Dan Tilda's Designs, who offer handmade t-shirts and custom designs. Have all of these designs for just $10 each. $10 for one, $15 for two, $18 for three, plus postage. So head over to Dan Tilda's Designs on Facebook. And Jodie Lowe from 241 last year will be hosting a Real Farmer Day. Say no to Big Harmer on February 15th. Make the biggest exit the who sign that you can. Say no to Big Harmer on Real Farmer Day. There's a free event on Saturday, February 15th. It will be held at 44 Coringal Road, Emerald, from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. Bring a chair if you choose. And in Western Australia, there will be a rally against the offshore wind turbines and net zero insanity. March the 1st at 10 a.m. at Parliament House Courtyard in Perth. There is an urgent need for court support at the sentencing of Laura Adele Hinks. Laura urgently needs support and witnessing at her sentencing. She was found guilty of the abduction and attempted abduction of her own children. This is at Darwin Supreme Court on February 14th. Daily prayer space is held on X at 3 p.m. So whatever you're facing, come along and we can lift you up in prayer. Every day, 3 p.m. on X. Melissa 146233923.
And apparently that court case that was there for the 14th, which was today, guys. Hang on, Caz. It has been adjourned. The judge has said She won't be going to jail, so he's told us. So who knows what's going to happen there? But anyway, it's been adjourned till March
18th.
March 18th. Okay, Caz, come on down.
Yeah.
Caz.
Jody Lowe's got his shirts up. Okay, so he's got these really good ones that say "Exit the Who" and the Real Farmer Day. Also, we still need a place for a lady in Ipswich. If anyone's got access to a rental, and we've also got a place available about 100 clicks north of Tamworth to rent. So, yeah, that's what we've got going on.
And tomorrow's Jody's big day, the 15th, guys. So get behind it, get into it. I hope you're ready.
Exit the Who. All right, one of the things that's been really interesting is Trump talking about reintroducing the straws, and this person's got an interesting take on it.
Says.
What if Trump is not talking about plastic straws or paper straws? This is a military operation. He's speaking in code. Everything is a comm. What if he's talking about signing the executive order to break the straw man, to end maritime law? What if he's talking about the death of the old corporation? When our parents signed our birth certificate, they signed over ownership of us to the corporation, and the corporation used us like a commodity. What if he's saying your old self will die? The old corporation will die. Everyone dies 146. Financial crisis 146. You don't want to stay in your straw man. You don't want to stay with the old corporation. It's bankrupt. It's null and void. Your birth certificate is a banknote. We were nothing but a number, but a commodity. They just used us like cattle. We were just slaves to them. We want our straw man to die. We want to be sovereign.
You're right.
So the only problem I have with that, I think that it is interesting, but I don't see the need for comms anymore. We need to start seeing perp walks. We need to start seeing plain talk so that the others, the normies can catch up.
We mentioned this ages ago, Caz. We said, the comms will be over now. We'll be able to talk straight to us. But, yeah, we're still getting them. Anyway.
Well, it is. Well, Trump is. Okay, but his people are not. Like if you have a look at Caroline Levitt and the receipts on this one.
Okay, because all of you know I love to bring the receipts. We have contracts upon contracts that we can send and provide this information to you. Let me be very clear. We are not trying to hide anything. We have been incredibly transparent and we will continue to be. These are screenshots of contracts that DOJ found across our government. This is a DEI contract, $36,000 for U.S. citizenship and immigration services. That is against the president's policies and his America First agenda. This is a 3.4.
You can also with this one with Pam Bondi and they hold everyone accountable.
Great men and women in law enforcement standing behind me today, they must be protected. And anytime anyone leaks or tips off anything regarding a pending investigation, that jeopardizes lives. You're telling a bad guy what's about to happen. It could jeopardize the lives of all the men and women in law enforcement. We will not stand for it. We will find you. We're going to investigate it, no matter what agency it came from. We don't know for certain. We have an open investigation, so I can't talk about it in detail, but we will do everything in our power to hold you accountable, and it is a crime, and you will be prosecuted when we find you.
Even though they're speaking really plainly, Trump still seems to be coded in his language, but his people are actually speaking extremely plain. It's really interesting. And even RFK today, he came out and he said this. He said he goes, "I'm about to genetically modify Monsanto."
Good on him.
Well,
needs to nuke a lot of them.
Yeah, they do need to be. No, there needs to be a reckoning. We need to have all of these people held to account. And I don't know when it's going to happen here. I would have thought that we would have seen purples already, but obviously not. All right. Now, you've also got Elon, and he talks about the bureaucracy. So this is interesting as well.
To the government. And if you have rule of the bureaucrat, if the bureaucracy is in charge, and then what meaning does democracy actually have? If the people cannot vote and have their will be decided by their elected representatives in the form of the president and the Senate and the House, then we don't live in a democracy. We live in a bureaucracy. So it's incredibly important that we close that feedback loop, we fix that feedback loop, and that the public's elected representatives, the President, the House, and the Senate, decide what happens, as opposed to a large, unelected bureaucracy.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
We just need to get the power back to the people, and the people find their delegates, but we're going to do this, guys, by getting back your councils and your schools, right? So we have the power on the ground, all right? Because, while these guys are wielding the power they are, we're going to find it very, very difficult, okay? So let's get to work.
That's it. And Rob Schneider, he has... there might be a few little not terribly good words that he uses here, but it's very funny.
This week just did an executive order saying that boys can no longer play in girls' sports. That's it. That's it. Ladies, isn't it ironic that the biggest protector of women turned out to be the pussy grabber? Huh? Maybe the guy who grabs it knows how to protect it the best. Think about that?
Oh, only Rob Schneider can get away with those things, so.
Yes, he would probably be the only one, yeah.
And T-Man has done something very unusual. So he's had all of the premiers of all of the states in Canada come and see him, except today. And this is what he's actually said after the meeting.
I think Canada is going to be a very serious contender to be our 51st state.
With Canada, there was obviously a delay in implementing those tariffs.
I spoke to Governor Trudeau on numerous occasions, and we'll see what happens. But it just sets up so good for them. Look, the people would pay much less tax than they're paying right now. They'd have perfect military protection. They don't have any military protection because and you take a look at what's going on out there. You have Russian ships, you have China ships, you have Chinese ships, you have a lot of ships out there, and people are in danger. This is a different world today. It's a different world. They need our protection, yes.
So can we first to Governor Trudeau again?
Governor Trudeau. It's gold, isn't it?
No one can troll like him. He really is a key. He's a king of the trolls. Like, seriously, no one trolls like him. He's just good at it.
He's good.
Anyway.
He's a great marketing manager.
He is. And we're having a bit of success finally on the Slovakia is banning the vax. So we've got this, but we've also got a couple
Here are moving to ban the dangerous COVID-19 mRNA shots from the country. This after an explosive investigation determines that the pandemic was a fabricated operation and the vaccines were a resulting act of bioterrorism. So the findings were revealed in a Slovak government commission report on the nation's investigation into the COVID pandemic. The investigation was led by Commissioner Peter Coulter. In releasing his report, Kotler held a press conference to recall for the immediate ban of the COVID mRNA injections and called on governments around the world to do the same.
Now, that follows also, there's serious moves within the states, especially Florida. You've also got Jim Ferguson, your mate Dave. He's actually been reporting this, that they lied. COVID now officially less deadly than the flu, just like the conspiracy theorists said all along. So that's from the CDC data. That confirms it. So they've got a lower mortality rate than seasonal flu. So it's a lot of, where's the accountability? We need to have arrests. We need perp walks.
Well, that's why we've got things like the witness statement out there, guys, and being handed to people. And now we just need you to chase it up, all right? Because the evidence is there, all right? And you are the people that will make them act on that evidence. So we need you to help.
That's it. And finally, the big news, of course, is that which is really probably the most important news, but it's the CPS and the foster stuff. Now, don't forget that Doge went into the ORS today. Okay. Now, also so they got this one coming
Donald
as well.
Trump just announced that Doge will be focusing on the CPS network next, along with any other governmental offices that deal with children, including the United States foster system. This is huge, and this is breaking. Donald Trump has also...
That was yesterday. Now, what's happened as well? Somebody's been keeping an eye on this, and WikiLeaks have actually kept it. Yeah, but WikiLeaks have done a search on it as well. So Washington, D.C. searches saw for Swiss Bank, Offshore Bank, Wire Money, and IBAN. So it is not just criminal defense lawyer. These guys are looking to flee.
Yep. And do it in the background, not through their normal contacts. So they're looking at other ways to do it, that they're not connected to.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right. All right. Well, we're being taken out by a mashup that's been done. It's called Tech Bro Soldier. And anyway, so Dave, if you would like to close the show, I will hit play.
Yeah, look, as I said, guys, you've made it through again, right? It's another week down. It's another week in this war that is just absolutely ridiculous, okay? But we got to have it. We got to keep doing what we're doing. I just urge everyone to have a great weekend. Get out to your Forest of the Fallens. Do what you got to do. Get with family if you've got any left. I've at least got my immediate family and actually it's Valentine's Day today, and I can't forget my little grandson's birthday, okay? So, won't be using names or anything, but I'll be seeing him on the weekend, and that will be great. So, guys, that's what it's all about. We're here to fight for the children, and we're here to fight for their future. So have a think about it. Have a think about getting onto the Victoria Police, all right? And let's use this witness statement. Get onto your police. Get onto your local people, all right? It has been given to all people. Go and chase it up, guys, all right? It's our time. We've got to make it happen. Good night. Have a great weekend. Thanks for the week.
God bless America.